Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Jordan at Afterburner Automation, and today we're going to be walking through the first of 3 courses on the file package. By the end of this course, you should be able to use the file package to create, copy, rename, and delete files on your system, as well as create shortcuts to make it easier to find those files. The file package is used to perform various file operations similar to the types of operations you might normally perform using Windows File Explorer. In general, these commands are used to change certain properties about a file, get some type of information about the file, or move or remove the file completely. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and log into the control room and navigate to the automation section on the left sidebar like normal. Now that we're in the automation section of the control room, let's navigate to our Citizen Developer folder that we've been using and create a new subfolder called File 101. At this point, you've created enough new folders that this should be a breeze for you, but if not, feel free to pause the video and go back to Prompt 101 or log to File 101 to see how this is done. Once you've created the File 101 folder, we're ready to get started. Let's start by creating a new bot within our new File 101 folder. We've done this many times already as well, so I won't give detailed instructions on how to do this anymore. I'm going to be showing you how to create and open files as well as how to create a shortcut to those files, so let's call this one CD08-File Creator. Then click on Create and Edit to get to the RPA workspace. For this bot, we're going to create a text file on our machine, which you'll be able to name when the bot runs. Then we'll create a shortcut to it on our desktop and open the file for editing. As always, I'll be switching to list view because I prefer that view. Let's start by getting the name of the file from the user with the prompt package. Head over to the Actions sidebar on the left and search or scroll for the prompt package. Then select the for-value command and drag that into the main workspace. We'll start by setting the prompt window caption to the bot name, CD08-File Creator. We want to get a file name from the user, so for the prompt message, let's put "Please enter desired file name." Then, just like we've been doing in previous courses, we'll assign the value to a variable, and in this case, it'll be sample string. Now we need to create a file with the name we just got from the user. To do that, let's search or scroll through the Actions sidebar for the file package. If we expand the file package, we'll see quite a few different commands we can use, but let's start by putting the create command just after our prompt for value command. On the right sidebar, you'll see that this command is pretty simple. All it needs to know is where to put the file and whether or not we want to overwrite existing files. So let's start with the file path. Click Browse to the right of the file field. And when the Select File window appears, navigate to the desktop. Once you've gotten to that folder, let's click on New Folder to make a new folder in the desktop named CD08-File Creator. Now let's open that folder, and once you're inside of that folder, go up to the address field at the top of the window and click somewhere to the right of the new folder name. This will show and highlight the full path to this folder. We want to copy this folder path using Control-C, and then we'll click Cancel on this window to close it. Now we can click inside of the File field and press Control-V to paste that folder path. We still need to enter our file name though, so let's start by typing a backslash, then press F2 to bring up the Insert a Value pop-up. Choose the variable you used with your prompt command. For me, it was sample string. And then click Yes, Insert. Now we have our folder path and the name given by the prompt, but we still need to add a file extension to this path so our computer knows what type of file it is. For this example, I'm going to go to the end of that string and type .txt at the end, but you can create other file types too, like .csv or .docx. One important thing to note about this command though is that it doesn't work very well with certain types of files, most notably XLSX files, which are Excel files. Fortunately, there are two massive packages dealing with Excel alone in A360, so we don't need to use these commands for those types of files. It's typically a good idea to use packages that are specifically designed for certain types of files, if they exist, so that we can avoid issues with these more generic packages. Anyway, back to our bot. We need to decide if we want to overwrite the file if it already exists. This can actually be a pretty big decision if you're dealing with a folder that has files in it that you'd like to keep, because we might not want to overwrite them. But since we created a new folder for demonstration purposes, we can go ahead and check this box. If this box wasn't checked, and we gave the bot a file name that already existed in our folder, it would give us an error when we ran our bot. Finally, we need to create a shortcut to this file on the desktop. Let's go back to the Actions sidebar inside of the File package and get the Create Shortcut command near the bottom. We'll drag that and put it under our File Create command. The options will appear in the right sidebar, starting with Target Location. This needs to be set as the full path of the file we want our shortcut to take us to. So let's go back to our previous command and copy the full path, then paste it back into this command. Now we need to set the shortcut location, which is where our shortcut will stay. There are two options here, desktop folder and variable. Desktop folder is kind of a confusing name because we might think that this means it'll automatically be on the desktop, but really it means any folder on your desktop computer. The variable option is also a bit complicated and deals with some concepts we haven't dealt with yet, so I'm going to leave that until I go over it in the Junior Developer Learning track. Anyways, we want this to be on the desktop, so we can actually paste our full path in here again, and then delete everything after the backslash after the word desktop. Now we're ready to run our bot, so let's click Run. When the prompt window appears, give the file name any name you want and press OK. The bot will end, and we can minimize the RPA workspace window so that we can look at our desktop. You'll see that a shortcut to your file is right there, and if we navigate inside of the CD08 file creator folder, we'll see that file in there as well. Looks like it worked. Feel free to play around with this bot a bit and create different files, but when you're done, go ahead and close the success message for your bot and close the bot down to get back to the control room. Before I move on, some of you might have remembered that I said in the Log to File course that the Log to File command creates the file if it doesn't already exist. In fact, there are a lot of commands that we'll be going over throughout these courses that automatically create files if they aren't already there. So this command, file create, is really only needed in very specific cases. So while I'm showing you how it works here, there's usually a more efficient way to create files. Now, let's learn a little bit about how to copy, rename, and delete files. Let's start another new bot. And let's name this one CD09-File Manipulator. We're going to build a bot that creates 3 separate files, then copies one, deletes another, and renames the last one. So press Create and Edit when you're ready. Once you're in the RPA workspace, let's start by bringing in the File Create command by going over to the Actions sidebar and finding the File package, then grabbing the Create command and dragging it over into the main workspace. Click the Browse button to open the Select File window and navigate to the desktop, just like last time. And here we'll create another new folder called cd09-file manipulator. Then, just like the last bot, we'll open that folder and click just to the right of the folder name in the address field at the top of the window to show and select the full path. Use Ctrl-C to copy this path, then press Cancel to close the Select File window. That brings us back to the RPA workspace, where we can use Ctrl-V to paste that path into the file field. Finally, we need to put a backslash, a name, and an extension. So let's put /copyme.txt. I also want to click the overwrite checkbox so that we don't have any problems creating these files if I run the bot multiple times. Now, let's click anywhere inside the main workspace window so that this command gets saved. Perfect. Now, we need to copy this command and paste it twice so that we'll be building 3 files. So click on that file create command on line 1 and press Ctrl-C, then press Ctrl-V twice. We also need to open up the second command and change the file name from copyme.txt to deleteme.txt. Then we'll open the third command and change that file name from copyme to renameme. This will make it super obvious what these files are for. As an aside, it's always a good idea to use names that are descriptive, because after a while you'll be dealing with so many files, bots, and variables that it'll be really difficult to remember what they're all for. Now that we have our 3 files created, we need to perform various functions on them. Let's start with the copy desktop file command. Please do not confuse this command with the copy control room file command. That command copies files from the control room instead of your computer, and you'll be very lost if you try to use that here. Anyway, we'll head over to the Actions sidebar, grab the copy desktop file command, and drag that over underneath our code. We'll see a few options here in the right sidebar, but let's start with the source file field. There are 2 options here, specific path and regex. Regex stands for regular expression and is a very advanced way to use these commands, so I'm skipping that for now. But if you'd like to learn how to use it, I'll go over it in the Advanced Developer Learning track. Anyway, the source file field is the file we want to copy. So let's go back to our very first file create command on line 1 and copy the full path for the copyme file and then paste it back into that field. While we're at it, let's also paste that path into the destination file folder field. This field is where our copy will wind up, and we can either give it a new name here by changing copyme.txt to something else, or we can remove the name and just give it a folder. Let's do that to see what happens. I'm going to delete everything after our last backslash so we can see what the default option does. Finally, I'll click the Overwrite Existing Files checkbox so that it won't have any problems if we run the bot more than once. There are also some size and date checkboxes down below, but these are also very advanced options that I want to skip over for now and talk about in the Advanced Developer course. Now let's deal with our deleteme file. Back in the Actions sidebar, let's pull in the delete command underneath our file copy desktop file command. This command is also pretty simple, with a file field for the path. We need to go back to our file create command on line 2 and copy the full path to the deleteme file, then paste it in here before we move on. So let's go ahead and do that. You'll also notice that there are size and date checkboxes here as well, but we'll skip them for now. Now we can deal with our renameme file. Let's go back to the Actions sidebar and find the rename command in the file package. Then drag that over underneath line 5. Just like the other two commands, we'll need to copy and paste the full path of the rename me file into that file field. For the new file name field, let's put iwasrenamed.txt so that it's really obvious that it was renamed. Again, the size and date checkboxes are here, but we'll skip over that. So now we're ready to run our bot and see how it goes. Go ahead and click Run when you're ready. The bot runs without needing us to give it any input data, so we can close the success message and minimize this window, then go to the CD09 file manipulator folder on the desktop. You should be seeing 3 files in here: copy of copyme.txt, copyme.txt, and iwasrenamed.txt. Copy of copyme and copyme are here because we made a copy of copyme and left the original one alone. Delete me is gone because we deleted that file, and iwasrenamed is our original rename me file that was renamed, just like we wanted. Great job! Let's close this folder, go back to Chrome, and close the bot so that we're back in the control room. The last thing I want to show you real quick is the file open command. Let's make another new bot to play around with that command, and this time we'll name it cd10-fileopener. What we're going to do is build a bot that creates a TXT file and a CSV file, then opens both of them for us. And after that, I want to show off some additional functionality that allows us to open programs with this command. Anyway, once you're in the RPA workspace, let's start by using the file create command to create 2 files. We'll head to the Actions sidebar and grab the create command from the file package, then drag it to our code. Then we'll use the same method as before to get the path to a new folder by clicking on Browse. This opens the Select File window, where we can navigate to the desktop and create a new folder called cd10-fileopener. Then, just like the last bot, we'll open that folder and click just to the right of the folder name in the address field at the top of the window to show and select the full path. We'll copy this path, close the Select File window, and then paste that path into the file field. We need to give this file a name, so let's add the backslash and then name it test.txt. We'll also check the overwrite box so that we can run this bot repeatedly without issues. We also need to create a CSV file, so let's copy-paste this command by clicking anywhere in the main workspace window off of that command, then reselecting it and pressing Ctrl-C. Press Ctrl-V to paste it, and then change the extension at the end of that path from TXT to CSV while leaving the rest of it alone. Now we want to open both files. So let's head back to the Actions sidebar and grab the Open command from inside of the file package, and then drag it underneath our 2 create commands. Since we need to open 2 files, let's go ahead and copy-paste this Open command so that we have 2 of them. This command is extremely simple, and the only option it needs is the file path. So let's copy the file paths from our 2 different create commands and paste them into both of these 2 open commands. We're almost ready here, but I wanted to show you one other thing this command can do. So let's copy paste our open command one more time. This time though, I'm going to type C:\Windows \system32 /cmd.exe. This is usually the path to a program called the command prompt that you should have on your computer. The file open command not only opens text-based files, but in some cases it can also run exe or other executable files as well to start programs, which is what we're going to demonstrate here. Now that we have this all set up, let's click Run. The bot will run, and we should see 3 windows pop up. Notepad or some other text editor will open test.txe, Excel will open test.csv, and then on top of all that we should see the command prompt appear. Feel free to try opening all kinds of files with this bot if you like. If it's a file and your computer has a program that can open that file, you should be able to use the file open command to open it. And that's it! Now you know the basic details of the file package, how to create, copy, delete, rename, and open files, as well as how to create shortcuts to those files. You also probably noticed some ways that you can use your log to file and prompt commands in conjunction with these file commands. Just be sure to be careful when you use the Overwrite Files checkbox so that you don't lose files that you want to keep. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. For more RPA training, check out the next video here, or watch everything in order right here. Subscribe to my channel for updates on new content, and become a patron to get access to personalized RPA support. But until next time, I'm Jordan at Afterburner Automation, and I hope this helps you build better bots.